Hello guys, it is Sunny, and I've made my fair amount of Pokemon videos in the past, so I felt like it was about time I would discuss Palworld. Mainly, I'm going to be redesigning two pals and discuss other things as well. But as a disclaimer, I'm not here to tell you whether or not you should play the game. In fact, it looks like fun, especially with friends. But at the same time, I think I'm equally as allowed to discuss the designs for such pals and tear them apart to my own liking. Also, I think people on both sides make a lot of dumb arguments, so I'm not here to say that one side is good and one side is bad. I'm just here to make my own opinion, which is a lot more gray, because things are gray in this world more often than they are just black or white. Regardless, though, I'm moving on to the first Pokemon, or pal I'm gonna redesign, which is Grintail, a bit of a Cheshire cat motif, which I think is fun, but at the same time it has the exact same face as Galarian Meowth, which, if I didn't know any better, I would think is just a coincidence. But I think everyone knows better than that, and it was probably intentional so they could save time or money or whatever the reason was for the lack of originality in this face. So for my redesign, I'm mainly focusing on the face region and how to make it more unique. I did keep one of the pupils looking similar to Galarian Meowth's, but the other one is different, so I feel like it's more justified to keep it that way because at least there's interest with the asymmetry. The cat also has eyebrows now, eyeshadow, an actual nose, and a more cat-like mouth. And I added some stripes as well, but that's rather minor. So are the cheek fluffs. And then, something I didn't notice before, might be just because I saturated the colors a little bit, but the color palette does remind me a little bit of Delcatty, but it's not nearly as offensive as the exact same shapes used in the original. So, yeah. It's very minor things like this that make a character completely different and look from theft to unique. And then the last redesign would be Depresso, which looks a lot like Esper. I'm pretty sure that they used similar models, or at least used the model as a reference for this one. I guess one thing that's going for this Pokemon is that it does have a personality trait, even though it's just depression, so I can work with that idea and make something different from it. Also, I do like the color palettes, but I will make a different color palette for a tiny version of the art. So without further ado, the new Depresso. Instead of it making more like Esper, which is obviously a cat, I decided to lean in more with the sad Batman-looking thing. So yeah, I gave the fluffs on its head a little bit more of a Batwing shape, the ears are more bat-shaped, I gave it a fang like vampires, you know, so sad and emo and stuff, and I even gave it a lollipop that's heart-shaped. But I think it would have made more sense for a coffee mug, but I'm not going to go back and change it either way. Also, alternate color palette in the corner just for fun. Though something that may help is that I used my normal art style for this one instead of the last one where I tried to look a little bit more Pokemon-ish. And these are the only two I did because I did plan on designing another three, but I didn't know what to do with them just because... I mean, what am I supposed to do with Grass Cinderace? What can I say about this? This is the reason why I said earlier that I wouldn't give them the benefit of a doubt for Galarian Meowth's face just being a coincidence. Like, there's no way you make a grass rabbit and make it have the exact same silhouette and even body proportions as Cinderace. That, you have to see a reference for that. I think there's a difference between coincidences, inspiration, and just straight up, these two are the same. And, you know, I get it, Game Freak is a big company, they make millions a year, and at the end of the day, it's just a parody, or whatever, and it's a mixture of Arc and Pokemon. And hey, it's even up on Steam for like $30, so clearly it didn't meet any of the plagiarism requirements, but just because something isn't illegal doesn't mean that it's good, you know? And sure, you can say that Pokemon doesn't own an art style, or that it doesn't own a concept, but at the same time, you can definitely tell that these guys were profiting off of the fact that it is similar to Pokemon, and there are many monster catching games that aren't exactly like Pokemon, like Yokai Watch and Digimon. Pokemon itself isn't even the first monster catching game, but that doesn't really matter. The thing that bugs me the most is the arc part of the game is made so well, and there is like a handful of pals that are so good looking, but then they stoop so low as to make a shiny Gigantamax Eevee. So, I'm kinda split on this game, honestly. Like I said earlier, it looks like a fun game, but I guess I'm just kind of disappointed in the artistic and creative abilities of the staff behind the pals. So, if you guys want me to redesign any more of them, let me know. But hey, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day, morning, night, whatever time it is when you're watching this, and just have a good time. Goodbye, and I'll see you guys later.